Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm happy to record my third Memo presentation video on the topic of agriculture and food policy. The region I'm assigned for is the Republic of North Ossetia. Well, now let me give you some introductory information regarding the situation of agriculture in the Republic of North Ossetia. First of all, it is the most known for its lowland regions across the Russian Federation. However, it's popular with its territories of mountain pastures that are very large. Well, in terms of the structure of the agriculture, it's worth pointing that the predominance of animal husbandry over crop production is present. Well, and to be more precise, the share of livestock production occupies around 61%, while the crop production is 39%. Well, and moving to the theoretical framework that I've incorporated is, first of all, the framework provided by the Wartjuk and Hausfeld that states that federal and regional politicians to allocate more agricultural subsidies when political competition against the dominant party is higher. Well, another supportive frameworks I've incorporated are that often resources do not reach the ones they are assigned for, or they are allocated not effectively, and most importantly, not equally across different regions of the Russian Federation. And in addition, the distribution of agricultural subsidies from the center is an instrument that helps elites to achieve their political goals, especially supported by the votes suggested by the Popov. This is the main theoretical framework that I've used in my memo. Well, now moving to the North Ossetian case, the very first thing to be argued and the thesis I present is that there is a major voter mobilization that happens to the agricultural enterprises in the region. Well, first of all, regarding the agricultural enterprises, it's worth mentioning that the majority of agriculture in the North Ossetia is ruled by the large enterprises such as Masterfine Biroska, which is the biggest producer of milk and dairy products, and another major farm called Fat Agra that cultivates grain and vegetable crops. Well, the important point to be made there is that I have found that the latter company is in fact in the structure of the group of companies called Pivovarny Dom Bavaria. Well, the most important thing to point there is that this group of company was previously ruled by the current head of the republic, Vyacheslav Baitarev. Well, moving to the event I've chose is the meeting of the Federation Council Committee on Agrarian and Food Policy and Environmental Management that was held in Vladikavkaz. As you may see, here is the head of the Republic of the North Ossetia. Well, in terms of the meeting, there have been some preliminary results of the implementation of the state program discussion, along with the regulation of agricultural product markets discussions. And interestingly, it's important to note that the members of the committee have been repeatedly mentioning their high expectations from the company Fat Agro that was previously ruled by the current head of the republic. Following that, it becomes justified to assume that the company that was previously ruled by the current head, which is now ruled by his son, has some privileged position in terms of the subsidies and state support. Well, another argument to be made is that this is how current head of the republic has gained some popular support during his elections, which is supported by the theoretical framework that agricultural enterprises are often function as the voter brokers. Well, and here is the another news I have found, which states that insa dozvoljeno, meaning that they do whatever they want. And here is the quote I'd like to present, made by the former member of the Parliament of North Ossetia and the current economist Margarita Kulolova, who mentions that the companies that are ruled by the Baitaev's family are often in the #1 priority in terms of the state preferences and so on, and the whole population already got used to that. Well, this is another support for the fact that his companies have a privileged position, first of all, and that most probably he gained the popular support through the agricultural enterprises in that companies. Another theoretical framework in terms of the food policy is suggested by the Vergen, who says that food policies are dependent from the center and often motivated by nationalism and politics. In terms of the nationalism in the Russian Federation, it can be seen from their large attempts to achieve independence in terms of food production and the food embargo that they impose aimed at decreasing import of foods. For instance, in the North Ossetia, again, on that same meeting, the senators noted that it's extremely necessary to focus on import substitution, particularly emphasis should be made on the domestic seed production. Again, we can see that there are a lot of attempts and focus to increasing the national and domestic production, which is rooted in the nationalistic approach. Okay, I hope my presentation was useful and informative, and here is the question I'd like to ask. Thank you very much.